Hello everybody and welcome to the first episode of the ICU. Anybody who doesn't know exactly what that means, that's going to be interviewing creators up front. So it's going to be a new series on this channel. I am graced by LadyScorpiion, by my good friend Mel. Say hello to everybody.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there. Not creepy at all. I'm going for the whole Star Wars. Hello there.
Oh, I got it. Don't worry, I'm there. I completely understood where you're going with that. I kind of wanted to turn around and just go, General Kenobi.
You should have. You should have.
Damn it, I missed an opportunity.
You did, but that would have been good.
Mel, it's so great to have you as my first kind of interviewee for this new series that I'm doing, and I can't wait to talk about your kind of experience as a content creator, because I mean I've been there for years now. I'm pretty sure if we go back, so I'm just looking through your channel now and looking at your videos, if we go all the way back to the classic video of Daddy Revac disciplining, that was 5 years ago now.
That's a gem. That's probably one of my favorite clips.
Is one of the best. One of the best. There's also another one here from 6 years ago saying Revac says I am wrecking.
Yeah.
So you know we've video gamed together and we've streamed together for on and off for like 6-7 years now, which is just absolutely crazy. I don't even remember. We've known each other for so long. I have no idea where I actually met you from. Like, was it another streamer, or did I end up wandering into your channel? Did you wander into mine? I'm so confused about what it was, because it just feels like a blur from those early days.
Right. I can't even believe it's been 6 years, to be completely honest. I feel bad for you. I do. to know me for 6 years, put up with my shit for 6 years.
I don't know how you've put up with me. This is just craziness.
No, I don't think so. I do remember the day I met you, though. I remember that day exactly.
Go on. Tell the people. Go on. I want to hear this, because I don't remember it, because I've got a useless memory.
Who you talking to? You know how my memory is. My memory.
You remember that, like.
Well, yeah, I couldn't forget that, because I remember I was scrolling through at that time. Dragon Age Inquisition was my game, and I was scrolling through streams, and I happened to find your stream.
Oh, and that's how it started.
Yeah, and then as soon as I started watching the stream, I'm like, oh my god, this guy, he is hilarious. Like, just the things he's saying, the stuff he's doing, this is great. He deserves a follow. So like after like an hour of watching you, I hit that follow button, we started interacting, and it was just history from there, basically.
And that was it. And then your life went straight downhill.
No, it went uphill. Yours probably went downhill,
no,
but...
God, no. God, I am remembering it now, because I remember I was still in the first area of Dragon Age, and I was kind of doing all of the quest locations, and I do remember talking to you. That was back when you were Chaos Queen.
Yes,
that was
the many
way back when.
branded names that I had
7 odd years ago, all on Twitch.
I know, that's insane. Like, when you put it in perspective of how many years it's actually been, it does not feel that long. That's crazy.
No, it doesn't. It feels like maybe 2-3 years ago we were playing Elder Scrolls Online together, and that, according to these recent highlights and videos, that was 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's crazy.
And it's funny because my memory is horrible. Like I said, it's worse than a goldfish memory, and I can remember those ESO days like the back of my hand.
That's because there were some hilarious memories.
There was, like Daddy Revac disciplining.
Yes.
Just one of them.
Yes. Classic video. Guys, if you've not seen this video, please go and check it out, because it is just... Yes. It's cringe-tastically funny. I think is the best way to explain it.
I agree.
But yes, I've already sent you off some questions and stuff that I wanted to cover definitely for today. And I'm so thankful for you to agreeing to it and being the first guest on this new sort of journey that I'm wanting to take and get the insights of content creators like yourself.
Of course, it's a pleasure.
And you know, with stuff like the intros and everything out the way, I really wanted to start off by talking to you about the reasons as to why you wanted to become a content creator. What kind of pushed you towards Twitch and video gaming live for an audience and everything like that. What were your sort of what were your reasons for that?
Yeah, there was quite a bit of reasons, and I'll just start with like the simple ones. The most simple one is I love gaming, and I wanted to share gaming as a passion that I have with everyone else. And seeing, famous YouTubers or famous Twitch streamers, I was like, I want to do that because that would be amazing because that's the one thing that I like truly enjoy and love the most. And that's kind of what started it for me. Is just basically loving that, having that passion to game and wanting to be able to share it with everyone else and creating a community that could be there with me and have the laughs when I mess up, when stuff happens. It was just, it's been a great experience, and I'm glad I went that route because I've met a lot of amazing people.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned your community, because your community is awesome. Your whole community on Discord, and all the people that you've managed to kind of bring together. You've got the likes of Kintaro, Salty, so many people that are they found you and they've kind of stuck by you for quite a long time as well. I believe you found quite a few people when you moved over to Mixer, which I think we'll get to at some point. And it's incredible how you've managed to build this community, and I think I definitely want to hear about your kind of experience on building it. Just get to that in a second. The first thing I definitely want to pick up on was you mentioned that you saw a lot of famous YouTubers, famous Twitch streamers. Were there any specific inspirations or anybody that you religiously watched that you thought at that point, that's the kind of person that I want to be like?
The one that's at the top of my head is Morph UK on Twitch. I started watching his content because of Dead by Daylight, because I was absolutely horrible at the game. So I was like, well, if I go watch somebody, maybe I'll get better. And I found him, and he is just all around hilarious. And I think that's why, I really loved your content. I really love, Kintaro's content, and all of you guys I look up to, because I think you guys are absolutely amazing content creators in general. And I can sit there and just watch you for hours and not get bored. And that's kind of how it was with Morph. He's like the very first one that I actually, well, besides like Tim the Tatman on YouTube, but everybody's seen Tim the Tatman. But Morph, yeah. I really liked his personality, and I just thought, I want to be like that. I want to be a goofball, a massive goofball, and be goofy the entire time I'm streaming. Because, screw seriousness, right? It's all about the laughs for me.
Yeah. Very true. I'm just looking at Morph's after butchering the spelling of his name. I'm just having a look at his Twitch account. So it's really interesting to see where, especially you've come with your inspirations and so on. And strange how it's another bloke in the UK.
It's like I really like UK content creators.
There we go.
There's a lot out there that are from the UK. I mean, maybe it might be like my hours too, considering I don't. Yeah. I'm a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife. So I usually watch streams like earlier in the morning for me, when it's later in the evening for UK folks.
It's really interesting with those kind of hours, because you're right. Like, as soon as you kind of wake up, or it's even hitting mid-afternoon, it's already 5, 6, 7 p.m. in the UK. So that's when most of the people are getting on. It makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this is interesting. I'm gonna have to give Morph a bit of a watch, because it looks like he streams every single day. So
he does. Yeah, he's very, very how do I put this? Consistent. Yeah, with his content. That's the perfect word. And it is nice because you can catch him every single day, unless something's going on in his life that he can't, which that's completely understandable.
No, of course.
But yeah, he does. He streams quite a bit, and like I said, yeah, you should give him a watch, because he is funny, and he does crack me up sometimes with the things that he does.
I will. I'll definitely have a look and give him a watch, and I'll let you know how I find it. I want to move on to your community, and because of course I'm part of your community. I have been for years, and I absolutely love the community that you've built. Excuse me, just with everybody that's in there. You know, it's such a great laugh, and it's a great time to be involved with everybody. Everybody's so nice and friendly, and you know how did you kind of build that? What would you say were the factors of building that community for you? Was it just people were popping in and then joining you and then playing with you? You know, was there anything specific that you can think of as to how your community has built to what it's built to now?
Well, first off, I want to say the community wouldn't be the same without you, Revik. So we are extremely happy to have you. Everybody loves you. So
She's
I just want
lying.
to say that.
She's lying.
But
Don't listen to
I'm
her.
not lying. He is. He's absolutely amazing. Don't let him fool you. But basically, how I built my community is anytime I would advertise, while I was streaming, hey, we have a Discord if you want to hang out with us. We're like family. We stick up for one another. We're there for one another. And we don't tolerate people that put other people down, etc. Like, if you're going to join this community, make sure you're nice. We respect each other and treat each other the way you would want to be treated, type of thing. And usually, yeah, when people would join games with me and stuff like that, they would want to join the community. So that way they could, play more often and be there. So yeah, that's kind of how I built my community is as a family. And we stick together type of thing.
And I get that completely from where I'm sitting in that community. I completely see that, and it's really nice and refreshing to see. With your, do you have a very open door policy? Would you say for new viewers? So let's say you're playing something specific, somebody completely new pops in and asks to play with you. Do you have a very open door policy, or would you say that you kind of you limit it sometimes just to be wary?
I do limit it sometimes just to be wary to see how that person is going to turn out, because I don't want them to obviously turn out toxic and start being mean to everyone. Or I've had times before where I've had it very open and people would join me and they would troll me. They would be screaming and yelling, and it would just be horrible for my content. Nobody wants to hear that, and a lot of people kind of back away from that.
No, of
So,
course.
yeah, I normally it's, if I see it in my chat often, then you're more than welcome to join our family. And if it's something that seems like that's what you would like and you would like to be a part of, stick around for a little while.
Yeah.
And then join it.
I think it's a perfect approach. I really do. And even I think with any kind of new content creators coming through, I think the word here is, it's absolutely fine, and it's encouraged to bring viewers into your video games. It's how you kind of build that community, but you do have to be careful with those people. Even if it's a case of this person is completely new, that's absolutely fine for them to join, but just not during this stream. Maybe offline, maybe another stream down the line, or anything along those lines. Could be good advice for new streamers or people looking to grow. The best way that I've found, and I think you may have found as well, is being humble and being nice to people and getting involved with people. That's what seems to build a community a lot more. It's all well and good providing that content and that entertainment, but having that sort of personal relationship with some people and some viewers does go a very long way. And
it does.
I think that would be one of the best pieces of advice for content creators at the moment is, be engaging off stream. And if you're trying to be a Twitch streamer, it's so important that you do have those other avenues to be connecting with your audience, because people will come for the game, but they'll stay for the streamer. And the more connected they feel with a person, the more they will kind of come back. They'll stick around. And that's been my sort of experience while streaming. I don't know if it's been the same with you.
No, I agree. I agree with you 100%. I do. I think you nailed it on the head with what you just said.
There we
go. Yes, I definitely agree.
So, across your 6-7 years of streaming, where would you say you've had your most success?
Well, as sad as this is to say, I think my most success was on Mixer. And the reason why I say that is I remember when everyone was talking about Mixer, and I was like, oh, I was kind of nervous to make that switch from Twitch to Mixer because it's a whole new platform. You don't know, you're unsure, right?
Yeah, of
So
course.
when I made that switch in the beginning, it was just like follow after follow after follow after follow. And I was kind of like hesitant, like, are they just following because this is a new platform and there's not that many people to watch on here, or are they truly enjoying my content?
Yeah.
So that kind of made me question it. But at the end of the day, the reason why I say mixers feels like that's where I was most successful is because I met a lot of great, amazing people on Twitch, but I also met a lot of great, amazing people on Mixer who became a part of my community as well.
Hmm.
And one person that sticks out particularly is Big Headed Yeti I met on Mixer. And he has been completely loyal and faithful to my streams, even coming over to Twitch and everything. And if it wasn't for Mixer, I wouldn't have met him.
Hmm.
So I think Mixer was probably my most successful platform that I've been on.
And speaking of that, your transition back to Twitch once Mixer shut down. What was that experience like? As you had this success over on Mixer, you come over to Twitch. What was your experience for coming back over?
My experience was obviously I wasn't getting as many followers as I was on Mixer, but the big thing that stood out for me was coming back over to Twitch, just my awesome, amazing community making that move with me and
Hmm.
being there and supporting me through it all was like that brought tears to my eyes. Like everyone that I seen in my Mixer chat that strictly only had like a Mixer account, when I seen them in my chat on Twitch, it just brought tears to my eyes because it's like, at that point that they love you for what
Yeah.
you're creating and they're moving with you. They're not, going and saying, hey, screw it. I'm just going to find someone else because she's moving back here. And there's a bunch of other content creators over here as well. It's not just her. But I think that was amazing moving back to Twitch and seeing that. Plus all the, I guess I could call it nostalgia moving back to Twitch
Yeah.
and just remembering all the great times and memories that, you and I had there and everyone else that I met on Twitch. That was great too. So I do love Twitch, but I can say I did have better success with Mixer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's kind of the same way that I felt. I enjoyed my small amount of time on Mixer, but I definitely felt a little bit more refreshed coming back onto Twitch at the time. And
Right. Yep.
I'm not. I don't know. My experience was because I was still quite low, so I was still under 100 followers whilst I was on Mixer. Moving back to Twitch, what I actually seen is people return to my channel who I'd not spoken to for a few years,
Hmm.
and they're people that didn't go over to Mixer, didn't really have any communication with me outside of streaming, and and that's down to my own situation. I kind of cut ties with streaming just in general because of the work that I was doing
Hmm.
outside of it. And then now that I'm getting more and more back into it, more people are coming back and saying hello, and people who have not spoke to for years, and it's just turned into this situation where I'm chatting with everybody like I've been speaking to them for the last 5 years. It was just like I can't even explain it. The people that came back were brilliant, incredible, great friends, and I had so much fun kind of reconnecting with them. And I don't know if you had any of that when you started streaming back on Twitch as well. Did you have any people kind of coming back
I
that you'd not
did.
seen for a while? Okay.
I definitely did, and it was nice. I can tell you that it was a few of them that popped in there, and yeah, I haven't, either they didn't want to have a Mixer account, or
Hmm.
they just simply didn't have one in general, so they didn't come over to Mixer. But yeah, there was a few people that popped in that, I haven't talked to since I made that move to Mixer, and to actually see them in there and chat with them was amazing because I missed them, of course, and I was happy to see them again. So yeah, I definitely know where you're coming from, and I feel exactly the same way.
Do you have your follow account on, or your view account on?
Where I could see my viewers?
When you stream, yeah.
No.
No. Why not? I'm interested to figure out as to why not.
Um, well, I guess that's a yes and a no because my bot, I use Scorpiion to obviously moderate everything and send messages out that needs to be. And that always has a list of my viewers. But I
Right.
usually have that minimized. So like the only time I ever actually see that or look at that is if I actually click the bot and it pulls it up. But I don't really go through, who's in there and who isn't. And the reason why I don't really look at my viewers is the same reason why I don't pay attention to like my view count. I try not to get, hung up or caught over that. I try to just go straight into streaming, have a good time with the people that are in there that are active. And even if anybody say the chat's dead that day or whatever, I still try to have a good time and laugh. So that way, if somebody does come in, they can interact with me and they can see that I'm talking and stuff. And I feel like if I look at viewers or say view count, I feel like I could maybe get easily discouraged that way. So I try to just ignore it altogether and just see who pops in chat, who talks, and just go from there type of thing.
No, that makes complete sense. It's really, so like I was watching Devon Nash's name is. I love Devon Nash. Devon Nash is one of the best content creators out there at the moment. He very much is an industry leader in terms of understanding the industry. So I watch so much of his stuff, and for anybody who is watching, if you like this kind of content, definitely go and watch Devon Nash. He does it. He's at such a larger scale than what I am, and he interviews some of the biggest streamers out there. He's interviewed Pokey, he's interviewed Pestilly, he's interviewed so many people. Moon.
I gotta check him out.
It's really interesting to kind of what he says, and he was interviewing somebody, and he mentioned about the view account and stuff because he's somebody who does not like using the view account, and I'm very much the same as you. I think the problem is you can become discouraged when you see your view account drop by a good 20%. The problem is it's not live. There's always a delay in that kind of view account. So what you can actually have is you can have people jumping in and out of the chat, but the view account will stay at a specific level. So let's say it's at 10. Actually, you've only got 7 people in there, but then suddenly you've got 12 people, but the view account is still at 10. Because there's this major delay and it's just not real time, and then it eventually drops to 7, you become disheartened when actually you've probably got over 10. It's just because it hasn't correctly refreshed in real time. Plus, when you're looking at that, so that's a generalized statistic for me, because my whole job revolves around stats as well. Having a look at stats live and in real time right there in a small figure is not helpful, and that's where Sullygnome comes in. That's why I've kind of sent it to you, because you can have a look at your statistics over a period of time, and that is more indicative than your view account live in real time right there and then.
I can completely understand where you would look at it at that point. But yeah, I didn't know anything that you were just explaining, so that puts a better perspective on it for me. So it, like you said, it is nice to use Sullygnome, because then you get a better overview of how you're actually doing.
Yeah, exactly. And anybody who is a content creator watching this, use this website. I'll pop a link down in the description below for it. Sullygnome.com is just brilliant for statistics, how you're kind of performing, all of that kind of jazz. But kind of moving on from that, so I wanted to ask you about, how you're managing to balance your kind of home life and streaming. You already said before that you're a stay-at-home parent, so you've got that time kind of during the day. Do you find it hard to balance your kind of family life with streaming, or do you find it relatively quite easy?
No, it's definitely hard. And the reason being it's hard is because obviously kids, husband, they demand a lot of attention, a lot of things they need done. I'm the one that does everything basically. You know, I cook, I clean, everything is done for them and handed to them. And if they didn't have me, well, I don't know what they would do. So yeah, trying to find that perfect balance it's difficult, but that's kind of why what I used to do is with streaming, I used to stream as many days as I possibly could. So I would stream like Monday through Friday and then usually have the weekends off because that was like family time. And that just did not work at all because, you know, there was the complications with, you know, my husband and myself, just, you know, you stream too much, you do this too much, and we need to spend time together type of thing. So what I tried to do instead of streaming at night and streaming Monday through Friday is I stream days now and I'll do it like 3 days out of the week. And that seems to work and fit my schedule better. So like any advice on trying to make a schedule, just I guess play around with it like I did and find what works best for you because you may have a schedule that may not work best for you at all. And then you realize this is what works for you. So as of now, my schedule does work for me and it is better. But even then, I find sometimes days when I get up, especially since the kids aren't in school, it's very difficult to actually make it on to stream on time because you get up, you got to get yourself ready, you got to, you know, make food for them. It's a process. Let's just put it that way. So it can be complicated still, even to this day.
And yeah,
if that makes sense.
that makes complete sense. And you know, I've said this to you countless times, and I'll say to anybody as well. Real life is so much more important. Just through and
Exactly.
through, it's so much more important. And you can sit there, you can have yourself a set schedule, but you know you won't always adhere to that, and that's absolutely
Yep.
fine. People definitely shouldn't be discouraged about not making a stream or anything like that because like I said, real life is so important. And it's really interesting hearing from, you know, a parent and a parent who's a streamer, because I mean sometimes your kids can come into the stream, you can hear them sometimes, and it's great. It's really humbling and heartwarming hearing them and you interacting with them. And I think that again, that goes to connecting with the audience. You know, it's kind of breaking that line of creator and audience. It brings in more of just that humble setting of you are a person. If that sounds really weird,
No. I get it. 100%. I get it.
and that's something that a lot of creators I think need to have. I think people like to distance themselves quite a lot from when they stream, and having like bringing people into that kind of environment as well. You know, getting a bit personal with some people, not too personal, but that can really build that sort of audience, and that's kind of why I wanted to, you know, get your 2 cents on balancing home with streaming and everything like that. And it's really interesting because a lot of people will most probably be in the same boat as you as well, especially if they live, you know, if they live with a partner or anything along those lines. Even if people are still at home, there's still such a large balance across just wanting to do what you want to do, because you know this is streaming is what people want to do as a content creator, making YouTube videos, and there's not always time for that. And it's so important to make sure that you remember that life is more important. You know, doing things offline is a lot more important.
It is, yeah, because you don't want to ruin those relationships, obviously, and that's why if you know a child comes in here and starts talking to me, unless they start saying things that they shouldn't be saying,
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
where I have to correct them, most of the time, I just, you know, like my daughter, she loves video games, and I just think it's the cutest thing, and my community is too. When she hears me talking about a game that she really likes, she'll pop in and, you know, yeah, and you know, put her like 2 cents in on it, and I just think it's the most adorable thing ever that she does that. And I let her do it because it's great. Or, if my husband comes in here, I let people acknowledge, yes, I am married. Yes, I do have a husband. Yes, that is his goofy ass that you hear saying those goofy things. And I just think it puts it together,
Yeah.
so people know if you're not, you're a human being, like you said, you have a life outside of content creating, outside of streaming, and it is very important that you attend to that life and don't forget about it and don't put all the effort into that, because it's just not going to be good at the end of the day.
No, it's not. And you put it perfectly.
I tried. I mean, I have to, I don't want to say put up with it, because it's not putting up with it. Like, I love my family to pieces and I would never trade it for anything. But
it's finding the right balance.
yeah, I have to experience that obviously on a daily.
Yeah.
And, there's some days that, I have to cancel stream because, one of the kids got hurt, the husband needs me, or we're doing housework, renovations on the house, I should say. And life happens. And the thing is, if you have a great community, like, I do, like you do, Rivik, we have great communities. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because you can easily just post in there, hey, this is happening right now. I'm not going to be able to create anything or be there until this is done. And they're all very understanding, and they're like, take as much time as you need. And I love my community. I do. I don't know what I do without you guys. I really don't. I say that every time I stream almost. I know I sound like a broken damn record, but it's the truth. It is.
You're never going to sound like a broken record. It's, as a viewer, it's lovely to hear. As a part of that community, it's lovely to hear. So never, ever think that way.
Right? Yeah, I say it all the time, and it's the truth, because, the moment I tell everyone in the community, hey, listen, this is going on, that's going on, I'm going to need to take a break, they accept it, and, most people leave and they find somebody else. But it's like, no, when I start streaming again, everybody's there again. They're there, they're loyal, and it's a great feeling, because, like I said, you're doing something right. And it's nice. But I think it's important to communicate with your community and, let them know, not just leave them hanging. And that's why Discord is a beautiful thing, because before Discord, when I first started streaming, there was nothing really I could update my community with to let people know, unless it was like, say, Twitter. And not everybody followed me on Twitter. But, now I have Twitter, I have YouTube, I have Discord, and I always try to post it in at least 2 of those places, letting people know, hey, listen, I gotta take a break, this is happening, etc. And I think just communicating with your community is like number 1, because they should understand.
Yeah, which they do, and I know they do, with especially with your Discord. And you ping everybody and say, look, this is happening, that's happening. Everybody's so supportive and understanding, and it's really nice to see, and it's good.
It is, yes.
You've got that, and it's been the same with mine. I think a couple of weeks ago, because I stream every Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. My Friday session, I decided to trade in for a Thursday session, because Friday I was going out on the piss. I'm not going to sit here and lie about it. I got very drunk that night. But it's exactly. It's the ability to announce that you're not, there's going to be a change in the schedule, or you're not going to be available to do it. Another content creator, I've mentioned him earlier in this interview, Pestilly, who's one of the most famous Escape from Tarkov streamers. He recently had about a week and a half off, and he let everybody know that. He said, look, I'm going to be gone for a week and a half. I'm spending some time doing some other things, spending some time with the wife, everything like that. And it's absolutely fine to do all of that. Don't ever think at any point that you can't have time off. So the last thing that I wanted to talk to you about was, do you have any advice that you would give to any current content creators, or any people that are wanting to become content creators?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of advice. Starting out as a content creator it's going to be difficult. Don't expect to see extreme massive growth right away. More than likely that's not going to happen. And the biggest thing that I can say is don't get discouraged. Try not to look at the viewers that are in there, because if you're constantly looking at that and it's constantly setting at like 0, it can easily discourage you. Like you could think to yourself, what am I doing wrong? Why is nobody coming in here? Why is nobody talking to me? But that's not the case. You're not doing anything wrong as long as you're being yourself, you're having a good time, you're having fun. And also too, that goes with, even if you don't have anybody talking in your chat, just talk and talk about what you're doing in the game and what you're going to be doing and how you're going about it. And if you constantly talk about what you're doing, you're opening up conversation for somebody that could have been sitting there watching for like 20-30 minutes, and then they can jump in and get involved in that conversation. I think that's like the best approach in my opinion. And don't be discouraged. And try to be as consistent as you possibly can. I mean, I know, like I said, life happens. You can't. But if you say go live on Twitch or YouTube or wherever your platform of choice is, try to go around the same time if you can, because then it's like a TV show, and people are going to know that you're on at this time, or around this time, and they can be like, okay, hey, one of my favorite streamers is going to be on. I can tune into them and have something to watch. So if that makes any sense.
Yeah. That made complete sense to me. It's really good advice. I think you're bang on with a lot of it. When you're first starting out, you won't have viewers. Unfortunately, that's just it's what it is. Unless you've got like your friends watching you or anything along those lines. The other thing, and I've mentioned this on a previous video as well. I think it was the video. Don't be a Twitch streamer, be a content creator. Is that people will never, well, they will, but a lot of people don't always engage the conversation first with viewers. Viewers can sit in your channel for anything between 2 to probably 5 minutes and then make the decision, but they won't necessarily make themselves aware to you, if that makes sense. They won't actually chat with you directly. Whereas if you're having a conversation with yourself, and you'll see me whenever I play Tarkov or anything like that, if you watch my streams, I will constantly talk about what I'm doing as I'm doing it, because there's not always people talking away in chat. And you get that, all the way up until you've probably got about 40 to 50 concurrent viewers. You'll have these points and gaps of kind of downtime in the chat, which is natural, especially at this kind of level. So learning how to commentate what you're doing is a very good way for new viewers to understand you as a person, your knowledge of the game that they want to watch, your general personality. I think to some degrees a level of intelligence, because I think you commentating on a game that you're playing actually shows a lot more to a new viewer than what it would be if you were just completely silent, not really doing anything. Keep that consistency going with talking and talking and talking. And yeah, it's difficult to talk. We're not sitting here saying you need to fill every second with saying something, you know what I mean? But get into the habit of doing that. But yeah, it's all good advice. One other bit that I would definitely say on top of that is, guys, be consistent for sure, but do not try and grind Twitch.
Oh yeah, do not.
Don't do it. Twitch has next to no discoverability. It's not helpful for growth. If you want to grow, what my biggest advice would be is, and do similarly to what maybe I'm doing, stream a couple of days a week for a few hours at best to keep that kind of relationship going with your audience and everything. And that should be your fun kind of time. But spend the other times that you would do streaming, making videos for YouTube, being on Twitter, being on Instagram, being on other discoverable platforms. Focus your time and effort into that, because that's how you are going to grow. Twitch growth is very, very difficult. Not impossible, but very difficult. And YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook, they're better ways to, one, connect with an audience, and two, be discovered. Because a video on YouTube can have 10,000 views, whereas you're running at concurrently 10 to 15 viewers every time you stream, your scope is much larger on YouTube than what it would be on Twitch. So by all means, you can try the grind, but I think it can be disheartening. Focus your time on other platforms if you want to build your growth. So, Mel, thank you so much for doing this. Really, really appreciate it. It's been great talking to you about this. I've had a lot of fun doing it.
I did too. It was a pleasure. It was. The pleasure is all mine. Trust me. Like, to be able to do this for you, it was. I enjoyed myself. Like,
Good.
it's just easy to talk to you, you know, and easy to just be myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it was definitely a pleasure.
So go on, promote your channels, promote what you've got going on, promote everything.
Don't forget to follow me on Twitch, LadyScorpiion, all one word, 2 eyes, guys.
I'll post the link down below. I'll throw your YouTube link down below as well, and I'll pop your Twitter handle down below in the description. So guys, if you're not following her, get on it. You don't know what you're missing. Mel's great fun, variety streamer as well.
Well, thanks.
Just so much fun. So please go and give her some follows. Go and sub to her on YouTube. Go and do all of that great stuff. And other than that, I think I'll let you go for this one. So again, just thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, you're very welcome. It was a pleasure. And if you ever need anything again, just let me know.
I will.
I'm always there.
And everybody viewing, thank you so much for watching. It's been a lot of fun, and I'm hoping to have some more of these coming. If you're interested in being interviewed, then by all means let me know in the comments. You know, get up on my Discord, message me on Discord, or even DM me on Twitter, anything like that, and we'll try and work something out. But for now, guys, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Much love, everybody.